As we do every weeknight at 6:40, it's time now to drive it home with KFI AM 640's John and Ken. As we've been telling you, they are live on the state capitol lawn in Phoenix, Arizona, where I understand there's been quite a bit of noise there this afternoon. What's going on, guys?
Hey, Micah, how are you?
Not too bad.
Everybody, say hello to Micah.
We've got a good crowd here today. They've been here since we started the show almost 5 hours ago. There's some people that are against SB 1070 across the way here, but the crowd that's shown up here in support, I mean, we got people that drove all the way from Southern California.
Yeah, Pasadena, Riverside, all over the Southern California area. And a lot of people are former California residents, former listeners to our show, who fled to Arizona, and I think they're thinking about fleeing again.
A lot of people know that if they don't support Arizona and what it's done, there's no chance throughout the rest of the country and in Washington, D.C. to do something that they see every day. The problem of illegal immigration in Arizona. Phoenix is the kidnap capital of the United States and second in the world. And the people here are fed up because the federal government has not done enough to stop it.
Let's lay the groundwork quickly for context. Polls running nationwide show that most Americans are in support of this new immigration law in Arizona. And in the state of Arizona itself, there's a majority supporting the law as well. What are you hearing there on the streets in Phoenix today?
Well, we just had a guest on our show, a woman who represents the hotel industry, and she said 20 events have been pulled from hotels all over Arizona. Business meetings, conferences, costing the hotel industry here $6 to $10 million. And who's that going to hurt? That's going to hurt Arizona employees in the hotel industry. Their hours are going to be cut. They're going to make less money, as if the recession isn't bad enough here. Now you have, and by the way, a lot of this is the fault of California political leaders like Antonio Villaraigosa and Gavin Newsom and all these camera-hungry narcissists. They've whipped up some hysteria with a lot of lies. And now, who's going to suffer? You got a bunch of people with reduced hours, and you got $6 to $10 million out of the Arizona economy. That is wrong, and that's unfair.
And there are business owners there in Arizona with legitimate concerns over these boycotts. We're talking about new boycotts every day, it seems. But have you run into any of those people there that are expressing concern, frankly, for the viability of their business?
Well, we haven't talked. We talked with the woman from the hotel industry. We also talked with a woman just a few minutes ago who works in the healthcare industry and has talked about how the healthcare industry is so severely strained by all the illegal aliens who come here and then they have babies, the anchor baby syndrome. It's eventually cost the taxpayers an awful lot of money. So it's the healthcare industry is getting affected, the hotel industry getting affected by the boycotts. We won't really know what businesses are getting affected until probably they get their monthly reports and they see if business is down, up or down for the month. That's why we're trying to get our listeners and our viewers here to go to our website, johnandken.com. There's a Facebook connection. We have a Facebook page where you could find out about travel, tourism, and all the businesses headquartered in Arizona and all the products that they make and really do something to counteract this stupidity that Villaraigosa and Newsom have led.
And I think it'll burn out. I think the number one group that canceled the trip here to Arizona that we were told about are the immigration lawyers. I mean, the usual suspects. I think in the end, this state will survive. The American people are behind it. Certainly a lot of our listeners are behind what they're doing here, and this state will do well, and they should stand up. And if this holds up in court, they could be a great example for the rest of the country.
Well, I think one group that hasn't canceled a trip to Arizona, Al Sharpton and his supporters, we understand, are en route or will be soon to the Capitol there?
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow evening he's supposed to do a vigil. We're missing his circus. But, he is such a huckster. He's such a charlatan. I wish to God nobody would take him seriously. Ken and I are originally from the East Coast.
He's got no credibility.
We know what his game is. We know about all his scandals and all the trouble he caused in the past. That anybody gives him 15 credible seconds in the media is an absolute outrage.
It's just like Cardinal Mahoney in L.A. He's also a phony. The whole pre-sex abuse scandal that he covered up for years. He has no credibility with anybody. He should be ignored. These are two leaders that are completely false that the media gives attention to. They should not.
I want to read you the results of a Gallup poll that ran nationwide. 8 in 10 Americans are concerned that illegal immigrants burden schools, hospitals, and other government services, and 77% worry that they drive down wages. But the same poll finds that 77% are concerned that stricter laws would mean immigrants that have lived here productively in the U.S. would be forced to leave. I mean, this is an issue that's making this very difficult.
Yeah, it is. And, the first answer is just to seal the border off. And I think, the trouble is, I think I speak for most of the people here, they don't trust the federal government, period, end of story. If the federal government would prove that the border was completely sealed and we weren't going to have any more serious invasions of illegal aliens, there might be room to talk about what to do with the people already here. But nobody's willing to give an inch on that until we're absolutely certain that the border is sealed. We've been talking about this issue, in California, for 16 years since Proposition 187, and they still haven't done anything. When they do something, they might get some negotiating space with enough Americans that you might find some way for these illegal aliens to continue to live here. But I guarantee, until there's absolute proof that the border is sealed, you're not going to get that.
So you guys are doing a little TV today. How does it feel? You're outside the comfy confines of your radio studio in Burbank.
I tell you, we've gotten a lot of TV and radio and print interviews here for showing up from Los Angeles. Something about coming from L.A. To Phoenix really ignited the local media here. And then they saw these people driving from Southern California to come here to watch the show. Not to mention ex-Californians, refugees who live in Arizona now.
Maybe they're just tired of supporting the anti-SB 1070 crowd. They decided to give this side a little attention.
I think it's enough of the activists lying about racial profiling and Nazism, enough of these idiot mayors leading boycotts that are going to cost workers money here in Arizona. It's time for the silent majority now to get really loud and to talk about what they want done in the state.
All right, John and Ken, live from Phoenix, Arizona. And a reminder, we have a reporter on the ground there in Arizona as well. We've been talking with her this hour, and we'll do so again tonight on the news at 10. John and Ken, thanks for taking the time. Always good to have you.
All right, talk to you tomorrow.
Okay.